What is happening, y'all? Welcome on back. So actually, when I ended that last episode, I started the Kenna stream. It did not give me an autosave. I had to fight my way back to this point, beating that boss's ass. So all 3 fights from the last episode had to redo again. Pretty sure I got through them faster though. Man, I was spamming Starfall. But either way, let's take down this baddie.
Slay the girl and the great spirit.
This is gonna be
death over both worlds.
Bro, like, how do I even?
When you have all that power, what will you do? My dominion shall reign over all existence.
Die. Okay, now I did that. I'm gonna immediately grape gel myself back to full.
This is so you can rule over all existence just because? Despicable as they were, even the other lords, even the great spirit had a future in mind. But you had nothing.
Oh no, this is bad. This is bad. We need a panacea.
Death. So what?
No, oh, Alvin, don't die.
Little to me. You are pathetic. Truly pathetic. And you're not. You are a...
And they're just going at each other's throats. You all that bullshit?
Empty. A sovereign who couldn't even die in his own time as he was meant to. You're right. I used to wonder why I was still alive after so long. But there are things in this world.
I need an elixir. Yes, that's what I
In the
need.
here and now that are worth protecting.
No, no, Alvin! Get it off. Okay.
I won't let you take them away.
I just gotta avoid his ass for a hot minute.
Yearns to be let free.
I really wish Alvin needs some fucking healing, bro.
The fury of lightning.
Don't you win? Why do you have all this lightning all of a sudden?
Flee. Enough of your foolishness.
I'm just waiting for his awakening to be done. I ain't getting caught in a mystic art.
Ignite! I'll destroy you! All shall bow before me! Accept your fate! Die! Why do you resist? Orochi's fury!
Oh, okay. I only had to get it to like half. That's not that bad.
You control others to keep from being controlled, but that's a path of never-ending hatred. Don't you understand? It can only end in destruction. The only way to avoid it is with forgiveness! The words of a coward. Your weakness disgusts me! You're wrong. It takes true power to forgive! I have no use for forgiveness. The strong shall always triumph here. You say that because you've been alone so long.
What is he about to do? Why is the entire arena frozen? Oh, bro, I'm frozen solid. I can't move. That's not fair. That's not fair. Let go of me.
Your whole life. Remembers the lashes of whips.
Oh my god.
Each strike spreading a skein of fire.
All right, this is annoying. Stop that. Oh my god, I keep getting paralyzed, bro. I can't do anything. It won't let me.
Or anywhere else. Is there no way for you to see this differently? Enough. You gambled the fate of this world to save a single life, and yet I am the evil one? How utterly ridiculous. It's true.
Oh, what the fuck, dude? I just noticed I don't have... What the fuck?
But I would let no one else.
It's just me spamming my abilities now? It's like super blazing sword mode.
You and I are so much more alike than I had ever imagined. No, we're not. I want a world built on kindness, on giving, on warmth. You take and destroy. I'm nothing like you.
I don't even have a health bar. It's just me going off on this dude.
Explosive ring! I am the proof of it. All others shall be banished.
Finish. Oh, that's badass.
Incineration wave! It's too much! Searing gale! The blazing sword, with the power Shion has bestowed upon me. I'll take you down! Try this! Blending flash! Incineration wave! You will beg me for mercy!
Die, bitch!
Ignite! It's over! You are the last obstacle impeding my progress. Die! That's my line! I'll show you the limits of your solitude! What you've done is evil. There's no denying that. I know you didn't walk your path out of weakness, but merely from misguided strength. Misguided because you were alone. Because you had no friends to keep you on the straight and narrow. No one to use all that strength for, other than yourself. That loneliness could make a monster out of anyone. Out of me. I understand. And I forgive you, Volrun. I don't need your victor's pity. And you can choke on your vain forgiveness. Don't! You wish to save this world? To make your selfish dreams into reality? If you choose to walk that path, you choose a path of betrayal, despair, and corruption. And in the darkness at the end, I'll be waiting for you! Volrun!
Did he explode himself? I'm not... What? I think he blew up the Renaissance with himself.
I'm sorry. The Renaissance is...
Yes. But you still possess the blazing sword. It may not be quite as strong as the Renaissance, but nonetheless...
I can't. I would never. It would kill you!
My thorns, they're... Soon the great astral spirit will break free. And when that happens, no one will be spared. But there's still time. You can still destroy the thorns. And me with them.
But that's exactly what we've been fighting to prevent. I promised I would find a way to save you.
You did. I know. But I don't want you to die either. So please, don't let me be the end of the world.
We're gonna get some kind of anime moment where he plunges the sword into the rose and it somehow purges that, but it doesn't end up hurting her.
That's it. Look! The path Dahna's energy flowed through is still open. We can use it to call out to Dahna's will!
Alphen, what are you saying?
Don't you remember? Rinwell said there was a little bit of Dahna's will inside all of us. If there is a way everyone can come together to form Dahna's will, then maybe we can ask for it to help us, to find us a way out of this.
Are you really saying that if all of Dahna thinks of saving us, it will become the will of the planet itself? That's madness.
Maybe so, but it's the only way we can save you. And the only way to save Rena, too.
To save Rena?
That's right. Rena's will never had evil intent. If we're saving everyone, that includes them. I don't want to live in a world without you, Xion. And I'm tired of living a life built on death.
Alf and I'm with you.
Collective will of Dahna, hear my plea! I want to save Xion! And I want to save Rena too! I want to end this cycle of one joy, constantly being sacrificed for another's pain! So please, grant us your strength!
Now, there's actually a really nice song that plays for the duration of this entire thing, but of course it is copyright claimed, so ain't putting up with that bullshit. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, we're basically going full-blown Goku with the spirit bomb right now. We're absorbing the energy off everybody, bringing that all together. And my original theory of taking the sword, plunging it on in, not that far off. I mean, obviously it's not quite the blazing sword anymore. I guess you could call it the astral sword. But sure enough, taking the sword, putting the sword right into the center of that rose, because that's the most anime bullshit I think any of us have ever seen. Purify the light. Purify the dark with the light. There's a little bit of Xion yelling and stuff. I could have just added really obnoxious sound effects through the whole thing, but I figured that's not necessary. You know, we don't need to do that. And they finally kiss. And this part's still confusing to me, but so the planets actually are fusing together, which doesn't really make sense to me. You know, because if the planets fuse, like what happens to like houses and do the people just like all wake up on the new planet? Do houses move along? Like that part isn't really answered that well. Is it, you know, half, like all of what used to be Dahna is just now half the planet and the rest is just a unclaimed Pangea-esque wasteland? We don't really know. I mean, there's a little scene after the credits where they like all wake up and it's green all around, and of course we can explore the world after, but kind of curious. I mean, these are some pretty big questions. I mean, obviously everyone's still alive, but like, what all happened to everything after the planets merge? There's actually like a really long credit roll in just a couple seconds here, so we're going to be doing a proper review then. Obviously, we actually already did a review of this game, but you know, now having got through the entirety of it, I think it makes more sense to do kind of a, you know, after the fact talk about all of my thoughts of the game, kind of how I feel about everything now that we've experienced the whole thing. Ballsack, everyone's favorite villain. Good old cannon belt. Just a big old nerd. I think out of the various villains, I actually liked her, Almadri. I think I liked her the most. She just seemed like, she's just straight up sadistic, you know? Like, basically, I will do what I need to do, fuck all y'all. And then Volron, of course, comes up, and it's just like, oh, you're dead. Not a big fan of Volron. Kind of like a douchebag all the way to the very end. But, you know, there's worse villains. Very much a discount Sephiroth, kind of. I think a lot of people have been noticing him and calling him that. I mean, honestly, copyright really is just the bane of Let's Plays these days. And to be fair, I mean, this game only had like 3 copyrighted songs in it, but of course they all got to play during like the long emotional cutscenes. And, you know, especially with Japanese companies, they just don't give a fuck about fair use. So it's literally just like a battle. So fuck them. Rather just cut the song out. So, of course, now we get to see everyone waking up on what I'm guessing is the new fusion planet. I mean, it's pretty. There's, you know, blue and red flowers all over. I'm guessing that that's supposed to be representative of the blue flowers from the darkness of Rena, and then the pink is supposed to be Dahna, probably. And then for whatever reason, Alphen and Shion just come out of a magical energy cocoon. And, yeah, you know, I mean, it's JRPG, you know. I don't expect logic in any of this. It's just, it is what it is.
Let's go!
And they got a whole new world to go explore now, apparently. But anyway, with the game finally done, let's do a proper review. So, thinking back to my original review, a couple things that I think still hold true. I stated that I think this was the best JRPG of this year. I still feel that way for sure. Everything I mentioned about this being the best Tales game in terms of combat, improvements, visuals, UI, all that's still true. But in the original review, I did say that at the start, especially, you know, I didn't feel like Alphen really was this chosen one type thing. I was like, you know, he's some dude in a mask. You know, I'm sure there's going to be something, but, you know, he doesn't seem as ridiculous as, you know, your typical like savior type motif. And then, oh boy, Man, talk about savior motif. Dude is one of 2 people who has some magical sovereign power that just happens to be linked to Shion, who is the maiden from the original maiden that he almost did the ceremony with. Like, if that's not some chosen one type shit, I don't know what is. But that aside, I mean, you know, tropes like that, they're fairly common in JRPGs. So it's not, I mean, I don't necessarily like it, but I can't say I'm surprised. You know, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, Shion survives at the end, and the will of Dahna and the magical light sword and purging the darkness, and then the 2 planets actually fused together. They really wanted to wrap the story up in a nice little everybody's happy bow. And, you know, I mean, I wouldn't have... I don't know. I like darker stories sometimes. I think they're fine. But, you know, given that it's an anime game and the nature of anime games, I can't say I'm surprised that's the route they went. I will say that after going through the entire game, areas that I found lacking, I think enemy variety could have been a bit better. You know, like when we were going through the convergence zones, and I like walked into, I think it was the water room, and we fought that crazy multi-armed Zoogle, and then after beating it, it like crawled out of its shell and fought in a new form. That was by far one of the most badass encounters in the entire game. I mean, it was just super cool. You know, did not expect that, did not see it coming. It blew me away, because all the other rooms were just like, oh, we fought this, oh, we fought this, oh, we fought this. And especially as we got towards the end game, like building up the first like 60 episodes or so, I think there was actually still pretty good enemy variety. You know, as we go to new zones, there were going to be new enemies. You know, we started to see a couple enemy types being reused but changed. But for the most part, I feel like there was decent variety. And then pretty much the end of the game, like from the time we reached Lenegis to now, you know, roughly the last 20 episodes, it was just the same fucking enemies, except they went from being darkness enemies that were green to being darkness enemies that were just, you know, pure purple. And it was the same shit, dude. It was the guys that look like the demons from Dark Souls. It was the little floaty things. It was the little wolf zoogles. It was the mantis. And it was just the same ones over and over and over and over and over again. Like, why? Why you have this crazy end? I mean, with the exception of the what the hell were they called? The Henron, whatever they were, you know, the true Renans. Besides those, it was just the same copy and paste damn enemies. And you know, I don't agree with that. I think that's lazy, especially because it's the wrap up. It's the end of the game. This is when you want to drive it home. And you know, the end of the game combat, I mean, the final boss encounter, I think that was pretty well done. Especially with Voron coming in at the end. That gave me pause for a second, because, you know, Alphen, I like Alphen a lot, but he is not a good 1v1 since he can't heal. But getting through like half the health and then having that second part of the fight where it's literally just you're invincible and spamming all of your blazing sword moves, that was actually pretty cool. You know, very anime finish there to the encounter. But I mean, overall, I think that water room and that crazy Zoogle that popped up, that was by far one of the coolest. The giant Zoogles, those were all pretty cool. That thing we fought, the Phantom Flower, was rotating through all the elements. Definitely a really cool fight. I mean, I still got to go back and kill the ultimate Zoogle, and there is still the late game dungeons, which I'm assuming those bosses should be pretty cool, and I plan on doing all of that stuff as well. I know at the end of this video, I actually have the original recording where I talked about, like, oh, let me see, but I've already done the math. This series, assuming I do all of the endgame content as episodes as well, this will likely take us straight up to the launch of Metroid Dread, excuse me, just to give you all an idea of what we're going to do. So we are going to keep recording this. I got quite a few games that I'm streaming right now that I'm really enjoying. Kenna, for example, really enjoyable game, and great for streams too, with the exploring and finding the things. Anyway, off topic, but getting back to it. So yeah, enemy variety was definitely lacking. Another thing, and this is a gripe being a longtime Tales fan, the fact that we only got an additional mystic art for Alphen and no one else got an additional mystic art, that felt kind of a ripoff, to be honest. It just, because I'm trying to think back to Tales of Vesperia mystic arts, and I think everybody had 2, maybe 3 even. Like, let me pull up and see. So yeah, Yuri has 2, Estelle has 2, Repeat has 2, Carol has 2 and an extension of his second, Rita has 2, Raven has 2, Judith has technically 3. One of them is an alternate. But anyway, the point is there's all these different mystic arts, and there were even like dual mystic arts, and that was really cool. And in this game, you had, everyone just had one, which kind of sucked, especially Law. I figured Law for sure would get multiple mystic arts, especially with the additional awakening levels and all that. It just never happened. So I think that could have definitely been done a lot better. But besides that, I do think the combat in this game was probably the best it's ever been. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed the combat all the way to the end, especially after I took time to do that one stream where I really dove deep into everybody and kind of got a better feel for movesets. That gave me a really, really big appreciation for Rinwell. Up until then, I didn't bother using her. And after that, I feel like she became my new main for the latter half of the game. I was clapping cheeks with Rinwell. She was so much fun. Another fault I will say, so I had the Ultimate Edition, obviously, that comes with a bunch of stuff. I don't think the DLC items, I've seen a couple people bitching about that. I don't care. That's who cares? You can get literally 80% XP boosts in game, 80%, the in-game bonuses completely shit all over the stuff in the Ultimate Edition. So I don't think that is a valid criticism, but the 3 titles that come with arts, that should not be locked behind DLC, because some of those arts I was using all the way up until the very end of the game. Some of them are very good. The lightning one for Alphen, for example, I don't think Alphen has another light-based attack. And not only is that one of his only ones, or his only one possibly, it's really good too. I mean, it's a air combo starter. It has good multi-hit build-up to help get your hit counter going. It's a good all-around attack. Kisara's are some of the best ones she gets. It's some of her best guard abilities. I mean, it's that the Water Snake Wake, the Wind Tornado, and then that Light Beam, all 3 of them, which can be garden powered and are super good. Having those locked behind Ultimate kind of sucks. I'm okay with them locking the outfits, and maybe there is a way to unlock those in the game. I sure as shit hope so. I don't know, because I already have them unlocked. No, let's actually Google it. Can you unlock DLC arts, Tales of Arise? Tales of Arise, every art and how to get them. Vacuum Blades, Thunderfang, Dragon Swarm, Maximum Bomb with a party member, Eternal Devastation, Rebellious Spark, these are ground arts, Alphen's DLC arts, Plasma arts, Plasma Shock, part of the Digital Ultimate Edition, sold separately in the School Life Pack. So yeah, I don't think you can find those in the game. And just looking through them, let me just go through the DLC arts real fast. Plasma Shock, Orochi's Gale Force Fury, both of those I used up until the end of the game. Great skills. As for Shion's, what were Shion's? Shion had Ice Tornado and Ray. I used those a little bit, but they weren't that good. Let's see, Rinwell, Gusty Nail, Arrow Squall, and Divine Streak. I used Divine Streak a lot until I started comboing with the big light ball drop. Law had Dark Wind, Serpent Knuckle, Flashing Savage War. I'm pretty sure I used all of those still. Kisara has Falling Storm, Water Snake Wake, Dazzling Spin. All 3 of those are really good. Dolahim, Raging Lunastorm, I used a lot. Aqua Serpent, not so much. Oh, holy shit. Fairy Circle is a DLC art? It's his AoE heal? Yeah. No, that's dumb. That's fucked up. Those need to be earnable in-game. Anyway, that aside, I still enjoyed this. I think I would settle this down at about 9 out of 10. The most egregious thing being the fact that there were arts that were literally locked behind the paywall, because I don't care about outfits or the little bonuses, the XP bonuses, the savers, all that shit. But arts, being that that's the best part of this game, is the arts and the combat, those should not have been locked behind. That was kind of fucked up. But anyway, that aside, I still thoroughly enjoyed this game, and it was good. I'd fully recommend it. Get the edition that has the all the additional skills, but yeah, otherwise this was absolutely fantastic. So obviously after beating it, we get our trophy, blah blah blah. We have a bunch of new stuff that we are able to do, which I mentioned early in the review. We are going to do all this. I'm going to keep this stuff just as episodes. So I thought about streaming it, but this should take us right up to the launch of Metroid Dread. Really cute little picture there in the background with Alphen and Shion, presumably getting married as well. So anyway, wrapping this one up. I'll catch y'all soon as we start the post-game activities.